Hey everyone, welcome back to another edition of TGG Cares. This is where we take a local nonprofit and just shed a spotlight on them, everything that they're doing, ways you can get involved, and really just to highlight how they're serving our community. So super excited today about today's guest. We have Tamara from the Banquet, and many of you know the Banquet. You've served breakfast or a meal there. And so we're excited to have Tamara here just to talk more about the Banquet and everything that's going on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yes, thanks for coming. I think we're coming in on Thursday actually to serve breakfast this week.
Awesome.
So I know we're kind of getting as a group, getting back into the groove of volunteering and serving. Last time I spoke with the Banquet, you guys were having issues with getting volunteer groups. How is that going at this point?
Right. Well, now since everybody's kind of coming out of hibernation of COVID, our volunteer groups are starting to come back. It was a slow go, but obviously it was understandable. You know, we were all lived 2 years in a world we didn't ever understand before that, and so coming back to normal was a little bit difficult. But now people are getting back in the groove, and they're like, "Hey, you know what? It's been a while. I want to go help."
Yeah. So things just at the Banquet as far as serving meals. Is it kind of back to normal?
Yes. During the pandemic for 18 months, all of our meals at both locations were served to go.
Meals.
And that was challenging, but it worked by God's grace. And last July, we opened up our dining rooms again, and our guests were so excited to come back in.
Yeah.
Just a real fun story on that. We have a guest named Larry who eats all of his meals with us. And during the entire pandemic, during that whole 18 months that our dining rooms were shut, every time he saw me, he'd be like, "When are you going to open up those dining rooms? I miss that dining room." And I said, "As soon as it's safe, Larry."
Yeah.
So that first day that we served, Larry was the first one in line.
Really?
Big smile on his face.
Ready to go.
I went up to him after he sat down. He shows me his fork. And he says, "Real silverware."
No.
I haven't eaten with real silverware since you guys closed your dining room. It was just powerful. You know,
it's like
real
the
silverware.
simple things.
Yes, the simple things.
Right?
That was important to him that day.
Well, and it's something to eating a meal with another person.
Absolutely.
Right? And talk a little bit about the Banquet, because I know that's kind of goes back to the roots, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Of the start of the Banquet, of just sitting down and having a meal with someone else.
Yes, absolutely. In 1985 was when the Banquet was opened. And there was a group of really forward-thinking people who were involved in creating the Banquet. And their thought process and their mission, which still holds today, 36 years later, was that the Banquet's ministry would always be twofold. People would come to feed bodies, and they would come to feed souls.
Wow.
And not just that of a volunteer feeding the body and the soul of a guest. It's that everybody sitting down and sharing a meal. So when you come on Thursday, you're going to be asked to do two things: serve a meal and share a meal.
Yeah.
Because when we sit down and share a meal with somebody, it doesn't matter what side of the serving line you were on. All those stereotypes that we had about each other, they just went out the window.
Yeah.
And we realized we're all just people. We have basic needs, and one of them is the need for food.
Yeah.
So.
And that's so true, because that is part of your mission. It's like, okay, you can't just stand behind the counter, go out and eat a meal and sit with somebody you don't know. And it's so cool. Every time I've served at the Banquet, just the stories that someone in the volunteer group has about a conversation, with a person, and it's just, man, that's super rewarding. And like you said, it's just that connection
Absolutely
that you can make that way.
Yeah.
So being on your side of the Banquet, maybe talk about what COVID, the last couple of years were like,
right?
And just with how things were done, and even like the future of the Banquet. I don't know if that's
absolutely. So in March of 2020, it was a shame because we had just opened our permanent second location on the west side of town. That dining room had been open 4 days.
Oh my gosh.
And we had to shut everything down. So that was very disappointing. But we realized, okay, here we have a ministry that serves 16 meals a week. We've been around for 36 years. People depend on us. Just because there's a pandemic, we can't stop. But 98% of our volunteer groups, rightfully so, fell off our calendar. Yeah. And so we learned very quickly how to do things very differently to still fulfill the mission, because the need didn't go away. Even though there was a pandemic, that hunger didn't go away, it grew, especially in the early months of COVID. And so we learned how to do things with a much smaller group of volunteers if needed. And we learned how to adapt and still make sure that fellowship component was there in some way, even the smallest of ways. Even if it was just telling that volunteer, make sure that every single guest you hand a meal to, you say thank you for coming today, or God bless you, or enjoy your meal. Just make that connection, you know. So we learned a lot, but we also learned that our ministry and our mission is sustainable pretty much regardless, through anything.
Yeah, if you can
Knock on
survive
wood
that,
for right now, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So what did that do to your team? I know a lot of teams, a lot of businesses, a lot of groups have had, like the last couple of years were such a challenge, and I think different businesses, different groups maybe handled things different ways, right? So for your team, what did what do you feel like the last couple of years has done?
I think, initially, just like I'm sure with every business, there was that panic and that stress and that feeling of, oh my God, we can't do this.
Yeah.
And then it's the realization of, yes, you can, because you have to. And I think it made us stronger as a team.
Yeah.
We realized that we were each there. We always knew it, but even more so that I've got your back, you've got mine. And even if it's just you and I tonight, if we're the only ones that show up for this meal, we're going to make this happen because we can.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's so cool.
I think we came out of it stronger.
Yeah. And I'm guessing your guests could feel that even.
I think so. I do.
Because everybody was going through those difficult times, but to know that you guys still found a way to serve your mission and to serve them as guests.
Right. We had one of our guests every single meal that he ate, the volunteer who handed him his meal, he would say, "Thank you for being here. I know you didn't have to."
Wow.
And even though that holds true now again in normal times, it was even more significant to him then because there was a risk involved.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're serving breakfast. Tell me the meal that you guys need the most volunteer, or like what's the hardest meal to fill volunteers for?
Quite honestly, it is breakfast.
Is it really?
Because breakfast is really early, and a lot of people
are like
me.
I gotta be there at 5:30.
Yeah, and a lot of people are like me, and that just makes you cringe.
Yeah.
I always say I'm the evening gal, But so that one's a little bit more challenging than all of them. But quite honestly, right now, as we're, this is Memorial Day weekend coming up, so it's the kickoff to summer, and we struggle to get groups to want to sign up in the summertime. Because there's family vacations, there's ball, there's all these things going on with your kids. A lot of activities. And so that's the time of year that we struggle the most. So that's when we ask people, hey, if your whole business can't come or your whole church group can't come, can 10 of you come? Yeah. Because we can put 10 of you with 10 other people and we can make this work. Yeah. Another thing we learned during COVID. Yeah. We can pull together volunteers in different ways. Yeah,
it doesn't have to be from one business.
Right, it doesn't have to be the way it always was,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay, so how do you sign up to volunteer to serve a meal?
We try to make it super easy. You go on our website, our calendar there, sign up Genius. You can sign up your group. If you just want to come, you and your family, you can sign up 4 people. Super easy. You get an email confirmation, and then you get reminders. Depending on how early you sign up, you'll get a reminder for sure 2 days before and a week before. If you don't feel like going through that, or you're not a real techie type person, you just do it the old-fashioned way. You can just call us.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, West Side location, is it open?
It is.
And it's thriving?
It's growing. It's growing, yes. Yeah. Our guests out there, they didn't have much of a chance to get familiar with how we do things with the sharing the meal and that type of thing. So I'll be honest with you, when we first opened up our doors again, they were kind of like, huh, what? It was different. Yeah, it was different. And so, but now as they're getting to know, and they're seeing the repeat volunteers, and we're doing our due diligence to get out in that Hayward neighborhood and make sure that people are aware that we're there. Our numbers are slowly climbing up.
Yeah. So where is that location?
We're located on 5th Street and Marion Road.
Okay.
So meeting the needs of that northwest Sioux Falls area.
Very cool. Yeah. Awesome. Well, good. Well, we're excited to be back there, and just thank you guys for the mission that you do serve and the heartbeat.
Thank you, because without people like you, it wouldn't be a possibility.
Yeah. Well, I know just without the structure that you guys implemented, it'd be so hard for us to serve in that capacity too. So I would just encourage you as a family, as a business, if serving at the banquet is something that you feel like is something you're interested in doing, to go on, do that. Maybe do it this summer, maybe at the West Side location.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
Wherever works best for you, but really there is such a need. I know in the past, because I wanted to bring that up, because I know in the past we'd sign up and it'd be 6 months out.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want people to know that there still is, you can sign up and there
Yes.
still really is that need to fill those volunteer groups. So check that out, go on there. But thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you.
Any parting words or anything else you want to share?
No, I just want to thank you guys for supporting us and helping us get the word out by doing something like this today.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you guys. We'll see you next time.